Hi guys, welcome to the flight today, as we're with the Boeing 737-200 and we're in the Baltic Airlines. As we're down in Tallinn, we're going to be doing a flight down into Latvia, into Riga, as we're arriving down into runway 18. As with the 200, using VOR to VOR navigation, as we've got plans set for our route. Now we'll be departing out of runway 26. We'll use our bleeds off takeoff so we can get a little bit more power out as we depart out today. So don't forget to like and subscribe guys, leave your comments down below, and then we get inside the cockpit and start the aircraft up ready to go. Here we are in this 737-200 cockpit, so we'll go overhead now, we'll get the battery on and guarded, standby power is guarded and ground power is on. Get all of our lights on, we can turn over onto the panel lighting as well, as we get the aircraft fully configured and set to come out. As we've got two panel lights here, and we'll go down to the radio stand as well, which is all nice and set for us. So as we leave out and get the aircraft all configured, we can on the emergency lights, we can get our no smoking on, fasten seatbelt signs can go on, we'll get one pump on for the APU, no pressure warning, and now the APU should start to come to life. Now we can see the APU powering up. So right now it's on the back, we can put the anti-collision light on, which is checked, we get our window heats, which then will go on. On with the gas pump, we'll get the packs on, isolation valve is open, get the APU bleed on, get the engine bleeds off, which will be checked. So we're going for a flight level today of 280, which is going to be checked. Coming down on the cabin altitude at 280 is going to be 4009. Okay, which is checked. Land elevation coming down in Riga is 37. So leave that 40, and it's on ground, which is checked with auto, which is all set for us to go. So as the APU now is getting ready and aligned in its state to go, we'll get the METARs for Tallinn ready for us to leave. So METAR is going to be 1002. Checked 2959, and we do it on the first officer side as well, which is checked. Leaving out, put 320 in, as we haven't got no SID to come out today, so we are just going to basically ride straight round and intercept in for the VOR. The VOR that we're going to be taking outbound is the Corsair, which is the Kilo Romeo Sierra, which is the 11224. So put the 11240 in, and we'll get the 11240 as well, which is checked. That will come to life once it does come, and we'll catch up with the RMI as well, as we can see when it does come into play. We'll get that all set. So leaving out on there, we're going to be leaving out onto the 217. Which will then intercept us down as we come through to Kilo Romeo Sierra, which will then turn into the 155. Leaving out on the runway heading today, as we come out runway 26, going to be the 261. APU can now be switched over as we go to the APU gen. All of our fuel pumps can come on, along with the yaw damper. Electric hydraulics can now come, and we can get the packs off as we get ready to leave and get the aircraft fully established. Logo can go on now, and we are fully ready to go. 11240, which is in, that will come to life once we do get inbound. We're going to track outbound onto the 217 once we leave the airport, and then that will track us inbound, ready for us to go. So can call the target and get ready for our pushback. We'll go overhead now, we'll start engine number 2. Packs are off and N2 is increasing. Need to change the engine startup for the XP Realistic. So as we get down to 20% now, we can now inject engine number 2 and get our weather on as well, which will be set and checked. EGT is starting to increase for the exhaust gas, and as N1 now slowly starts to increase, we are now stabilised. Obviously we've got a little bit of snow now coming down. As engine number 2 now, N1's fully in. As we come through, running out, we've got 137, so V2's 143 will plus on a 5, so we've got plus 20 for 140, so that'll be 160, which is going to be our V2. we've set the speed bugs. So there's B2 set for 160, which is already here, which is fine. So I don't think the wipers are going to make a difference with this at the moment, so I don't know where to see much. And from there we'll go for engine number 1. And we see N2's increasing. Oil pressure temps will come to life, then 25% with injected fuel, and we'll see EGT start to increase. So there's 20%. Inject fuel. Into EGT, N1 slowly increasing. EPR coming out is going to be 215. It's already in. And that's engine number 1 now coming into play. So just for effects, we'll put on the wipers. And leave everything as it is, as we're going to be doing the bleeds off. So we get the pitos on now, which is checked. Get the engine anti-ice on after takeoff. When you're coming down for flaps 5. Leave now the runway heading. As obviously the ETN's got the VOR as well. As we leave out, let's just say runway 26. So 1122. So I'll put 1122 in. As what I want to do is, I want to use the 1122 and track 217, and that's going to basically hold us until we get down to the Kilo Romeo Sierra. So everything else is all on board with engine start switches, which can go to a low ignition. Everything overhead is all set, go over to Gen 1, and we are now fully set and configured to leave. We've got 160 which is plugged in. We can bring the controls over. We're going to basically just taxi straight down Alpha and then disembark onto runway 26. So we can release parking brake and we'll power on up. Brake is off, which is checked. Taxi lights are now on. Fuel heat can go on. And as we ride down, we'll be going all the way down to Alpha, taking a right on to Golf. We're then going to taxi on through. So I've got some winds in the vicinity, which will be blowing over to our right on takeoff. As we checked on the METARs. So the weather isn't all that great right now. We've got 14 knots from the south, 180 at 14. Got an overcast at 500 and we've got snow, low drifting snow as well. Feel this, the wind kicking in. B2 will be set. And once we take off and get the autopilot in, we can let the indicate airspeed manage the pitch as we ride out. Going to be the next right, the second right we're going to take. So this next right coming up is going to be ours. They'll take a right on to Gulf. They'll be all set, ready to leave, as it is quite windy. So coming through. Let's get our brakes on. We'll see our right turn coming up. Take this right now to line up with the runway 26. Okay, as we go straight forward now. Over now to the strobes, runway tail lights can go on, and once we line up we'll get the aircraft configured for our bleeds off takeoff. So here we are now, all ready to go. Brakes are fully on. Let's double check, brakes are on. So once we leave out, we're going to take the 217, which is over on the HSI, which is already set in, and we've got the VOR for the airport, which is the 11220. We've also got 11240, which is going to come up on DME number 2. Once that becomes active, then we can switch over, which will still be the same radio, which will be the 217. We've got a 160 for V2. And we are fully ready to go for the bleeds off configuration that we're going to set in overhead. Going to be the packs can go on, which are checked. Isolation valve is to be closed, which is checked. Engine bleeds are off, and APU bleed is on, as we have the APU on as well. So, in the cabin, let them know that we are going now. So, brake released. 22.2 we've got over on the trim as well. So, power up to 40%. And turn them. Just forward on you. Climb that, go to flip swap. Let's speed up now for around 220. As we hold off now for 220, we can put the autopilot on, the speed can go in. Now we're going to track round to 217. Roll round to 180, just a bit head on, which we checked. I'll just swing around now, wipers can be turned off into park. Switch over the buses now, get them over to the gen. Get a packed isolation valve to auto. Engine bleeds can go on, the APU bleed can go on. Checked. Passing through 3,000 feet. Hold on to 228 as we come back round to intercept. You can see the RMI now as we come and move forward. Then once the RMI moves back to 270, is obviously we're going to be tracking outbound, not inbound. Then we'll be ready to move over. It's just sitting around 250. So as soon as that hits around 270, the aircraft will come back on as we just arm the nav locks. Around 2,500 feet per minute. Can get the flaps retracted. Let's speed up for 250 now. And we can throttle up and go to climb up. As the aircraft now tracks at 217. Let's climb through 7,400 feet. Engine start switches can be turned off. Seatbelt signs can be turned off. Cabin can now relax. And we get the engine anti-ice which can go on as well. Pass through on our pitch. Can't get the QNHs now, that's 299 and 2. And gear is turned off. And that is pretty much it. Now landing lights can go off over 10,000 feet. Runway turn off lights are off along with our taxis. And everybody can now relax in for the journey. As we got to 10,000 feet, now we can see that the Kilo Sierra Romeo has come in, which is the 11240. So we can switch to 11240 over. As the aircraft's going to go to the 217. It just realigns itself. Now the 217 is we're on the right course now, 88 nautical miles outbound, as we jump up for flight level 280. Once we get to the Kilo Sierra Romeo, we're then going to basically proceed on down to Riga, where we're going to take on a direct to Tango Uniform Kilo, which is right here for the arrival. So we're going to track inbound to Tango Uniform Kilo, which is our initial approach fix, which is the 112.3 with flight level 9,000, which is our minimum height. Then we're going to turn on to a 051 rating, and then we'll hit for Riga. Once we get to Gudin, which is 24 nautical miles from the Tango Uniform Kilo, we're then going to make a right-hand turn onto the 118. And then from the 118, that is where we're going to come down for 2,000 feet. So we can see Agnes, which is going to be right there, 2,000 feet, as we drop through from 2005. So as we pass through 15,000 feet, we are on board and on track now to go to Riga. So I'm going to leave you guys with the takeoff cinematics. So don't forget to like and subscribe, leave your comments down below guys, and I'll see you when we get back for our next flight. guys, welcome back to the flight deck. As we're currently at flight level 280, we're just holding down for our Mach decimal 77, and we're just waiting for the RMI needle for our Kilo Sierra Romeo Victor. We've got Took in, which is currently in on the 112.3, which we've got in on DME number 2, which is showing that we're 86 nautical miles away. We're going to start on top of descent at around 15 nautical miles. That'll give us enough leeway, so we're going to need around 64 nautical miles to come in. So as we're just approaching now, as we don't want things to get completely reckless, we're going to switch on heading mode. As what we need to do is, we need to be coming in for roughly around about 084 to then intercept 051 radial towards Goodin, where we're then going to basically 24.4 from Tango Uniform Kilo. We're going to make that right turn to the 118, and then we'll intercept the localizer, and we'll be down for 2,000 feet. So we'll go from 3,000 to 2,000 and then intercept, so everything's going to start happening very quick. So right now we need 084, so we're going to wait for the DME number 2 RMI needle to move all the way around to around 084, and then what we can do is we can then program to come in. So we get 084 in on the course as you set, ready for the HSI for when we intercept. Currently holding 280. We're going to start our descent in roughly around 12 nautical miles. So from that time till now, the RMI needle is going to move, which is showing us the direction of the Took VR that we're going to take in. As we get the METARs in for Riga. Currently standing, we've gone 1006 on the QNH. Overcast at 600 feet, light snow in the vicinity as well. As we've got altitude hold on at 80 nautical miles, 10 to go. 170 at 10 knots, so +5 that. And on for our landing, and when we come through, very 30, 133, which we can set the bugs in, which are ready to go. Engine starts, we're just going to go to low ignition. Engine anti-ice is on. As we now slowly get ready to go, we can pre-bug in. We've got 9,000 feet, we need to get to Took, which is checked. And then around 70 nautical miles, we will then start the descent down, throttle back, and get ready to come down into the airport. So we don't have no receiver or anything. What we do have is the weather, etc. If there's anything in the area. 170 at 10, so we've got 10 knot winds as we're coming in for the runway today. We're going to be taking the ILS for runway 18, and elevation is 37, which is confirmed over on land altitude. Flight mode was meant to be on, which we have got set on. As we come 75 nautical miles, we're still waiting for the RMI needle to push back, so we'll probably start heading a little bit away from the VR in order for us to track back inbound. Then as the RMI moves, we can then get it configured to come back round. So once it moves around near to around 100 to around 090, we can start to then move over to come in, as we want it to go backwards as we are tracking in for the Took. And we can get Took in, which is the 112.3, which is in. And we can see Took's still going to be around there as well. So we're going to go past it so we can just get the RMI needle to line itself up. Then we can swing back in on our way back down to runway 18. Minimums today coming in is going to be a 233 MDA for a 200 foot decision. So 200 foot is set. Got 9,000, which is set on the MCP, or right on the altitude. As the RMI needle is slowly starting to move now. As we're just moving past it, we can then swing around, move into around, we're into 084, so we're going for around the, just around this mark here, 30 degrees off, so 080 is 010, 010 to 020. Then once we swing round, the RMA needle is slowly moving as it goes to 120, as we need to come back on ourselves to get that 084, so that's why we're still going forwards and we're just slowly decreasing, as we can see on the DME's indicators. We're just slowly decreasing as we're practically moving sideways with the NDB now. As you can see, it's starting to move. When it gets round to about 090, that's when we're then going to spin around and get the aircraft ready to go. Not going to start the descent just yet, seeing as we are still travelling sideways with the VOR. I'm going to wait until we move inbound to it, and then we'll start the descent. So we should be moving inbound in just a few moments' time, as we're going to hit 3,000 feet. Then we're going to roll down to 2005, and then down to 2. And 2 is going to be at 6 DME. Which is going to be right here. So we'll roll from 3 to 2,500, down to 2,000, and then we intercept the flight path for 178, which is going to be a 3 degrees. And if we're coming in for a 133, we've got +5, so 138, looking around about 750 feet per minute. So there's the RMI now, just slowly reaching 120. So this handy bit of kit is basically telling us where we are in relative to the VOR. So the VOR is currently sitting at 130, so it's practically sideways with us now. We want to be tracking inbound onto the 084, so we need to basically go past it. So the VOR's here, we need to go past it. So then the RMI needle moves down, back to the direction of where it is. So say we're up here, and the VOR's here. Once we've gone past it, the RMI needle is going to move downwards. So then it's going to point in the direction back, and once it hits that 084, that's when we can turn around and then come back down onto that radial, which you'll understand and see as we come through. So we've got 69 nautical miles, which is slowly starting that. I'm not going to start the descent, as I say, we're still going sideways with the VOR, but you're going to see what I mean in a minute. So just imagine we're here and the VOR's over here, and we are going to start to move past it, so we're practically parallel sideways with it. Once we move forward, it's then going to start moving behind us. Once it moves behind us onto that 084, we can then turn around and then come back onto it. So it's pretty straightforward. It's quite fun to do the VOR to VOR as you get to really do the basic stuff, which is, I find, is very rewarding to do. So 090, just hold on our speed 306, so just holding back decimal 77, just passing 120 now. As the RMI needle moves, it should get more sensitive as we go past it. And then we'll start to make that move. Once we get to 090, then we're going to basically make the move round onto the 084, which we've got setting on the course. So, just so you guys can see, you can take it as a sort of tutorial. This is the RMI, so the radial magnetic indicator, and the HSI, the horizontal situation indicator. You can switch over to ADFs. The ADF is right up the top here. I'm not sure about the ADF number 2, but you can definitely get the ADF number 1 to come in. As we pass now for 120, we can slowly start the descent down. But as we slowly start the descent, we're just going to pull back ever so slightly just to allow a slight descent, and we can just derate just a little bit. When we start the initial descent for around about 500 feet per minute. So just passing 120 now, it's around 115. So if you guys are interested in learning how the aircraft works with the HSI and the VOR to VOR navigation, this is something now that you do want to pay attention to, as we will be lining up with the 084 in just a few moments time, as we need to get the 084 to come inbound. If we did a hold pattern, we'll take the 084 to then switch in as our initial approach fix, and then we can go straight onto a left turn to the 051, and it's not going to put that much stress onto the aircraft performing the turn. So we're just reaching around 100 for the VOR now for Took. Once it gets round to near 090, that's when we're going to roll round to 130, and then we'll activate the nav lock and just start to proceed in just a little more, just add a little bit of throttle. So we can just pick up onto our vertical speed indicator around about 500 feet per minute. As soon as 090 comes into play, we'll swing round to 130, which will then line us up onto a nice left-hand bend, ready for Riga. So there's a 110. As we just work backwards now, and as the aircraft is now telling us we're going away from the V1. .105, just slowly coming in. And we're coming down to 105. So what we can do now is we're going to swing around to 130. We'll take 140, so we can just keep the RMI needle moving more. Now we can start that descent down as we come through. We'll be looking for around 200. Looking for around about 192. And we're going to start that descent now, as we are now moving sideways with the VOR. We'll be hitting the 080 in just a few moments time, so we'll put the VOR lock in, and the VOR lock can go in as well. Nav pod lock on the flight director. We can take the altitude hold off, and we can now go into our descent. The aircraft's going to move on to the 084. We're pressing moving parallel. Just reaching down onto 095. Then once it 084, the HSI will come into play, and the aircraft will then move into that left-hand turn, as it is pre-armed. And you can see nav lock, which is pre-armed in red. So it's just reaching around 090. As we keep the speed in, so we can say for around 1,000 feet per minute. Just reaching in. Hi guys, welcome back to the flight deck. Currently now we're just slowly making our descent down as we're just watching for the RMI needle to start moving down to the 084. We're going to be intercepting down onto the 084 for the Tango Uniform Kilo, which is the 112.3, which is in, and we are going to be making a 051 left-hand turn onto the Gooden for 3000, which is 24.4 nautical miles away. So you can see the nav lock now has come into play as we slowly descend down. HSI is going to move around to the 084 inbound course, and that then makes our life that little bit easier when navigating the left-hand turn to come through. So 084 is coming in now, the engine start switches are low ignition, and we now can leave from flight level 280, coming down for around 1,000 feet per minute. As the HSI now loans itself straight up, kind of looks like an ILS system, like you'd get in the props, and basically just watching the horizontal needle come over to line us up. The RMI needle is on for 084, so we are now tracking the direction of the lovely Riga Airport, 69 nautical miles. As we come down for around 1,000 feet per minute. I think this is like stratus. This is like some sort of like little mist. Once we go under it, the clouds go back to normal, but it causes that sort of effect. It's just something with X-Enviro that it does. Once we go underneath it, then the clouds will come back to normal. As we pass through 22,000 feet, currently set at 8,000 feet per minute. QNHs are 1006 coming down onto the runway. Got an overcast of 600 feet. Winds are 170 at 10, so +5 that. We've got a VREF 133, which will set the bugs down in for, which are all set and checked with the wind correction as we come through. And we're slowly descending now just for around about 500 feet per minute. So we're just lower the altitude with our throttle. Let's pass through flight level 223. We're making our way for 9,000 feet. Aircraft's fully configured to come through. We are in IAS mode, so with the input of our throttles we have control of our rate of descent. If I was to pull back the throttles, the aircraft would then descend even more as we lose thrust. It will try and keep to our speed at the top of the speed indicator, as we've told it to capture. Once it goes into altitude hold, well then the altitude hold will flick over, and then the aircraft will basically level off for that altitude, and then we have control back for the throttle, and the aircraft will maintain its pitch. As we pass flight level 215, going down for 9,000 feet. Weather looks quite nice at the moment until we get underneath the clouds layer. There is snow, light snow, overcast of 600 as we said, and the temperature's -3. So I think we'll come in with the anti-ice as we come through. 210 at 50 nautical miles. So we're going to come down for 9 anyway, so we can throttle back now, and the aircraft can start to descend properly. Let's pass through 20,000 feet now and making our initial descent down into the runway. Trans altitude for the level is going to be 5. We'll switch over at 6,000 for 1006. We're going to stay for our 300 knots. I'm going to slow the aircraft down just yet as we continue to speed on into Tuk. And if we want to maintain our descent rate as well as slowing the aircraft down, because if we slow the aircraft down in IES mode, it will level off to slow down and then carry on going. We can knock off the elevator and we can continue down with the descent and still allow the aircraft to slow down as it needs to as well. Into 10,000 feet, we'll then start to slow the aircraft down to 250. And then we'll hand control back over to the aircraft, ready to come in for the arrival. Currently 41 nautical miles from Tuk, and then we're going to make a left-hand turn onto the 051, where we then get the ILSs. So on the 178 for the 1111. So the 1111, the 1111, which is all in and checked, and we're going to be coming in for the 178 track for 2,000 feet, 3,000 before we make the initial turn for the 118 at 12 DME, but it's going to be 24 DME for us, 24 DME from Tuk. Make that right hand turn to the 118, and then we'll intercept down from 2,500 to 2,000 feet, and at 6 DME we'll start that descent down. So we'll go into a flaps 5 onto that right hand turn, and by the time we intercept, should be ready and set to get the aircraft ready to go. So that music you can hear as well as the mouse, as the cord's gone. We've had it for a couple of years now. Aircraft is fully set up, go for max auto brakes. I'm not going to take any chances with the cold weather as we arrive down into lovely Latvia. Everything overhead looks to be all above board and nice as we come in. Can turn off the overhead light now because we don't need it. Let's pass through 15,900 feet with 32 nautical miles away, and we're going to be slowing down to 9,000 feet. So as we bring the control column over now, as we just pass through 6,000 feet, we're going to get the QNHs back to 1006, and we can then, on that right hand turn to the 118, we can set the ILSs in ready to intercept. So just passing 15,000 feet. Once we get down to 9,000, that's where we're then going to hold it until we pass Took, and then we can descend down for 3,000 feet. So we can add in a little bit of power, but because we've got to slow down for 250, we'll wait until we get down. So what we can do is, right, if we turn off the elevator, now I have control of the aircraft, and if we just pitch up, as been given control back of the idle throttle, we can slow the aircraft down for 240. And if we slowly start to just pitch up, the aircraft will still maintain the ailerons, slow left and right, it's still controlled by the autopilot, but we now have control of the throttle, so we can slowly start to descend and still slow down at the same time. Otherwise the aircraft's going to level off and we're not going to be able to slow down for 250, we're going to level off at 13,000 feet and then continue down. So as we just lift up the nose just a little more, we'll hold for around 500 feet per minute. So we still keep that descent going and we can slow down to 250. Once we've done that, we get down to around 240, we can hand control back over to the aircraft and go into indicated airspeed mode. I just want to get the aircraft down to 250 by the time we do get through for 10,000 feet. So then we are all above board and ready to go, as we're going to be stopping for 9,000. So just passing 275 on the speed. As soon as we reach 250, we'll get that before 10,000, so then we can trigger off the altitude hold for 1,000 feet. If you hit the trim, you will knock the autopilot completely out, so as long as you just turn off the elevator, the aircraft will give you control back of this up and down motion. There's 12,000 feet coming in. It's passing through 260 on our speed. 13 nautical miles to go to Tuck. Going to be 24 nautical miles outbound into the airport. So that's 248. As we're just slowly slowing down. Okay, so what we'll do now is put the elevator back in, let the aircraft maintain control, it will retrim itself out, IAS mode is in, and it will now hold on for 9,000 feet once it comes down. And now we can start that next initial descent down for 9,000 feet, 9 nautical miles away. I'm going to switch it onto the 051 as we need to track outbound off of it. And once we pass over 10,000 feet, landing lights will go on and we'll be all ready in for the approach. So as you can hear, that is my mouse. Speed brakes are armed as we come through 11,000 feet. We'll slow it down for 230 once we get to 9. And I want it to be going in onto the 051, so once we get to around 4 nautical miles, then we're going to turn in for the 051 course, and we can just use the VOR then to track outbound. As you can see, we are coming in onto the 084. It's not to scale, but it is good enough. We're to about 4 nautical miles, you're in about 3 nautical miles out, that's when I'll switch things over, as we're going to use the same VOR to come through on. 9,000 feet, so we may as well go down to 3,000 now, which is in. It's just past 10. 4 DME to go. Once we get to 3, the 051 will go in. We'll keep the 084 track, so if the aircraft wasn't going to ignite, and that goes back into red, we've still got the 084 for the heading for when we go in. So the aircraft's probably going to go a little bit ski whiff when we turn onto that 051. It should straighten itself out. So there's 2 nautical miles. What we can do to save it from going absolutely mad, keep the heading on. And then once we pass over the VOR, so there we go, now we go to 051. And keep it on to 035. So that way we come just over, and as we track outbound then away from the VOR, the aircraft then should come back. So 050, that's a 0115. Navlock will come back in. As you can see, there's HSI coming back in, and now we're going to track outbound onto 051. It's going to be a little bit sensitive as we are literally right next to it. As we're doing all of this, we could have gone out in heading mode and then waited a few nautical miles out to then get in. So the aircraft's now going to track the 051. Once we get 24.4 nautical miles, we're then going to turn onto the 118. So we're still tracking Took. We're going to go down for 3,000 feet as the aircraft realigns itself now. Also got a 111.10, which is in. As we roll the 051, we're taking the 178 down, so we'll get that in on number 2, so then we've got that just to remember. There's 178, which is in. Let's pass through 7,004. We've still got another 16 nautical miles to go. 4 nautical miles on the altitude. And once we get down to 6,000, we're then going to get the QNHs all the way back down to 1006. We'll just have a look and see if the METARs have changed. 1005 now, the METARs are. So as we're passing 7,000 now, we'll get them down. So 1005 is 2968. And we did the first officer side as well. 2968, which is in. So QNHs now are all set and checked. Auto brake is max, speed brake is armed, passing through 6,004. I've got speed brakes now. Just give us that extra little bit of the descent rate. To go before we move on to the 118 ready. So as soon as we've got DME number 2, just before we switch over, we'll get the frequencies in, which we've got the 111.1. Let's pass through 4,008 now. As we get ready to level off for 3,000 feet. And then on the right hand turn we're then going to come down for 2005 and then down to 2. So we're looking around 500 feet per minute. So 1,000 feet to go. Start slowing the aircraft down as well. So down to a flaps up speed. Okay, altitude hold is engaged. Speed brakes can now go back in and be armed. Ready for us to come down, and we can now hold power. Okay, 20 nautical miles, 24 DME. We're then going to turn on to the 118. Okay, as we're holding down now, we've got 2,000 in. 2,000, which is set, altitude hold, which is in as well. We'll drop down into flaps 5 once we make the right hand turn, and then we get the ILS frequencies all in. Okay, 23 DME, as we can see, we are right there, ready to make that turn at 24 and be going onto the 118. Okay, so things are going to happen quite quick. 24, then select, and onto the 118. Just checked, speed mode can go on. We've started to descend down to 2,000 feet, and we're going to drop down into flaps 5. Switch the ILS is over now. Now we get the approaches on, which are going to be armed. And we want to get the 178 in for the course. I just checked. And we now slow down as we start to descend down to 2,000 feet. Flaps 5 is engaged. And the lights are on. As we'll the autopilot in, we'll just wait for it to come to life. So there's the ILS coming in for the localizer. Already down to flaps 5, there's 2,000 feet. If you hold in now, the aircraft's going to level off for. That should hold is in. 6 DME is where we're going to start the descent down, which is going to be for around 750 feet per minute. So the localizer is in. We can now put the heading track to 178, which is in as well. And we drop our speed down to around 180. So the glide slope's not going to come in until 6 DME, which is 6 DME from the Riga viewer or the India Romeo Victor, which is us, which will be 6. So in 2 DME time, the aircraft's then going to start to decel, and then we'll descend down on the glide slope. So I'm going to lock a flaps 15 set on the speed. As the glide slope is starting to move down now. So flaps 15, gear down. Okay, glide slope is active now. Descend down into the runway, passing through 1860 DME out. And we're now dropping to flaps 30. Move around 138. Okay, so runway tail lights can now go on, which are checked. There's our 137, which is coming in. We can get the wipers on. Okay, we're just getting ready for near 1,000 feet AGL. We've got +5, looking for a 137. flying. It was a nice arrival. We had a bit of a glide slope as we just see a little bit of a swoop down on the aircraft. We just managed to resolve it. So as we get ready to now vacate off, get ready onto this left-hand turn, get the speed brakes back in. That's going to be fully retracted now. As we get ready to head off of the runway. So as we pass over the whole short now, we can get the runway turn-off lights off, we can get the landing lights, taxis can go on, APU can be started up. Engine NCIs can go off, all the strobes, and position light can go on now, which is set. So, I hope you enjoyed the flight, guys, as much as I did. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, leave your comments down below, and I'll see you all on the next available flight on the channel, as I hope you enjoyed the landing cinematics. So, see you all soon, stay safe.